Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. If I have not gotten the chance to meet you yet, my name is Hannah Peters, and I am a registered dietitian nutritionist. Before we get going with today's topic, I just have a couple of things that I want to share with you all. And number one is that I have this rule that you can't say you don't like a food just because you've tried it once. This comes up very often in my counseling sessions because we have a lot of feelings around food and especially our vegetables. But I want you guys just to kind of think about this. So, eggs don't taste the same scrambled, fried, or boiled, and neither does a piece of broccoli, right? If we have it raw or roasted or steamed, it's going to taste different prepared each way. And then if we season it with different herbs and spices, or even if we, mix that broccoli into um, a soup or a dish with other vegetables, we may enjoy it more than by itself. So you can't tell me that you don't like something just because you tried it one way. So I'm just asking you to keep an open mind as we talk about different foods, because again, you may like them more. And then the second thing that I wanted to talk about is that this is a judgment-free zone. So food is just a wonderful gift that brings people together. It nurtures our bodies, honors our cultures. But we all come from different backgrounds with different access to food and different families. And so we all cook and prepare and eat different things. So we're all learning and trying to take care of our bodies. And so we're not judging what other people are eating. We're all just trying to learn together and grow together. So today, my hope out of this presentation is that you will walk away with a new confidence in adding fruits and vegetables to your diet that is budget friendly and fits into our busy lifestyles. It's going to be pretty informal, so if you want to ask questions or share ideas in the chat, I would love that. We all can learn from each other because I do one thing one way, but you may do something another way. And so let's learn from each other today. We're going to talk about the benefits of fruits and vegetables, the nutrients that we can get from these different foods, talk about how to do this on a budget, but also ways that we can incorporate some more of these fruits and vegetables into our meals on a day-to-day basis. So to start, I have a question for you guys. What percent of Americans meet their daily recommended intake of fruits and vegetables? You guys can add your guesses in the chat. So again, this is a judgment-free zone. If you feel comfortable adding in the chat, you can do so. If not, think about this in your personal life, but do you feel like you're meeting these recommendations? I feel like a lot of us feel like we're trying, maybe, but some days yes, and some days no. Maybe all the time no. See lots of, I see some no's. Yep. Bees, no. Fruits, no, but vegetable, yes. So maybe good at one, not the other. Some days, yes, I see some yeses. So yeah, that's great. So hopefully you, yes, people will get some more ideas or can share some of your ideas with us today too. Okay, so why do we even want to add these foods into our diet? If you're like me, you want to know the reasoning behind the recommendation. And it can also just be helpful for motivation and like putting things into practice. So intakes of fruits and vegetables can help lower blood pressure. So most of our fruits and vegetables have potassium in them, and potassium can reduce the effects of sodium. And we know we eat lots of sodium in the American diet. So the more potassium you eat, the more sodium you lose through urine. And it helps ease the tension in your blood vessel walls and lower that blood pressure. Fruits and vegetables can reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. Many vegetables and fruits are particularly rich in vitamin C and beta carotene, which is part of vitamin A. And these work as antioxidants in your body. So they help to slow down or prevent atherosclerosis by reducing the buildup of plaque from cholesterol and other substances in the arteries. So reducing risk of heart disease, reducing cholesterol, etc. Then when we think about cancer, they help prevent some types of cancer by providing essential fiber, vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals that protect our cells, reduce inflammation, and help manage our weight as well. It helps with our eyes. So your retina needs plenty of vitamin A to help turn light rays into the images we see. So without enough vitamin A, your eyes can't stay moist enough to prevent dry eye as well. And then there's lots of other nutrients in our fruits and vegetables like vitamin C, vitamin E, lutein. Those are all very important for our eye health as well. Fiber. If you've been in any of my classes or if you've talked to me, we've talked about fiber. Fiber is going to be in our plant foods. It's the non-digestible part of the plant, and it's so important for our bodies. So it can help improve our gut health and reduce constipation. It can help reduce risk of some cancers like our colorectal cancer. It's also important for blood sugar control because it helps slow down our digestion and slow the rise in our blood sugar. And then it helps us feel full and satiated longer, so that can help too with weight loss. I see some people are eating some fruits and vegetables right now, and I love to see it. That's great. All right, so I'm sure some of you guys have heard Eat the Rainbow before, and we're not talking about Lucky Charms. We're talking about all of the plant foods, so the fruits and vegetables and the different colors, because the different colored plants provide different phytonutrients. So if you never heard this word before, that term phytonutrient refers to a wide variety of compounds that are found in plants, and they have different proposed effects on and benefits for our body. So this is why we want to eat the rainbow. We're getting the different phytonutrients, vitamins, and minerals from all these different colored foods. So we're going to talk about the colors really quick and what foods we can find them in. So when we think about red, that would be lycopene. So it improves our heart health, decreases prostate and breast cancer risk, and contributes to stroke prevention and increases our brain function. So these are going to be tomatoes, beets, radishes, cherries, strawberries, red onions, and red peppers. And then we think about orange and yellow. So carrots, winter squash, apricot, yellow bell peppers, sweet potatoes, bananas, pineapples, mangoes. There's a lot of orange and yellow. So these have carotenoids, which help reduce the risk of heart disease and inflammation, strengthen the immune system, and then build healthy skin and help with our vision. When we think about green, we have the indoles and the isothiocyanates, and they help prevent cancer and are typically high in vitamin K, potassium, fiber, folic acid, and antioxidants. So this would be like spinach, arugula, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, avocado, kiwi, asparagus, our herbs, kale, artichokes. We have blue and purple next. So those are anthocyanins and antioxidants. They help lower blood pressure and reduce the risk of stroke and heart disease and are associated with improved brain health and memory as well. The blueberries, blackberries, eggplant, figs, purple cabbage, your purple grapes, plums, that's where we can find our anthocyanins and antioxidants. And then last but not least, we have our white and brown colors. So those are flavonoids and allicin, and they can help reduce cholesterol and blood pressure, improve bone strength, decrease risk of stomach cancer, and we can find these in onions, mushrooms, cauliflower, garlic, and leeks. And so this is just a short list. Honestly, there are so many other phytonutrients. I can't name them all. So something to look into if you're interested, but it just shows you how important it is to have a different a variety of different foods and not trying not to eat the same thing every day. Even though I will say, like, I'd rather you eat some fruits and vegetables than none. If you only have a few that you can eat, that's okay too. So I want to hear from you guys now. What are your favorite fruits and vegetables? Let's see what you guys come up with in the chat. I think it can be easy too to stick to like your rotation of like the same vegetables and the same few fruits. And so adding them in the chat may um, remind us of some of these fruits and vegetables that we enjoy that we don't typically eat. Let's see, apple, watermelon, spinach, kale, more apples, broccoli, um, berries, any leafy green, strawberries, broccoli. All right, sweet potatoes, lettuce, tomato, pickles, cucumbers, spinach, broccoli, corn. We didn't say that one. Artichokes, Aldi green peas, specifically from Aldi, Pam. I love that. Pineapples, berries, most veggies, green beans, salad with kale. Yeah. See, squash, mushrooms, potatoes, greens, lima beans. Squash and zucchini are abundant in the garden right now. I need to come to your house, Sherry. We just planted ours. Okay, thanks for sharing, you guys. Cabbage, that's another one. Yeah, so many options, which is wonderful. So we're going to talk about some more options and ways that you can add them into your diet. But first, I want to look at choosing produce at a lower price because life is very expensive and so is food. And so there are some things that we can do to try to take some of that financial stress away by um, choosing lower cost options at the grocery store. So seasonal produce typically is going to be a lower price. So looking for whatever is in season and seeing the price on that. Choosing frozen or canned is always a great option too if you can't buy fresh or it's just good to have on hand so that you can throw it into whatever recipe you have. So if you're buying frozen, I will say check for added sugars and check for added sodium. So the fruit, we're looking for the added sugars there specifically. And then with the frozen vegetables, um, they can add like a sauce to them. So you think about like broccoli and cheese, adding that sauce is going to add a lot of sodium. So I'd rather you buy the broccoli by itself and add your own seasoning or cheese to it because you can control that. So really just trying to be buying the fruits on their own and the vegetables on their own, not with any added ingredients to them. With our canned, same thing, kind of trying to do low sodium or no sodium. We're looking for our vegetables. I will say, some of our stores may not have those options. So looking for if they have an organic brand, sometimes that will be lower in sodium. So just comparing the ingredient or the nutrition facts on the back of the cans. When we have fruit, we want to try to get it in its own juice or water, not in any type of syrup. So those are the things to look out for if you're buying frozen or canned. Next up, comparing stores. One friend who will look at what's going on at each grocery store, what's on sale. So that is one way you can see what's on sale this week and plan your meals around that. Utilizing coupons. I know the Kroger app has lots of coupons. If you have time to clip all of them, that's a great way to save some money. And yeah, again, look for what's on sale when you're at the grocery store or shopping online. Buying store brands, we know that those are always going to be lower cost than the name brand items. So trying to find those. Growing what you can. I know Sherry mentioned earlier that she was growing some veggies, which is so exciting. And if you've never done it before, I would encourage you just to start maybe with one or two things. Um, We are not pros at my house, but it has been fun to have some food on hand from growing it yourself and some herbs too. Visit the farmers market. So there's always some great options at the farmers market. You could look for a community garden. A lot of times those are free. You can go pick whatever you want there, just depends on the one. And then a community support agriculture share. So these are CSA boxes. If you have heard of them, they all are kind of different in how frequently you can get them, how much they cost. But I included in your handout a link to this site that gives some different options in the area. And this could be a fun way to try new foods as well. Like if you're not used to buying, let's say, like butternut squash at the store, but then it's in your box, you may be more likely to cook something with that, right? Right. So something to look at. When we're talking about affordable fresh fruits, there's some excellent choices that can be both budget friendly and versatile. So fresh options like bananas, apples, oranges, um, they're not only reasonably priced, but also widely available throughout the year. And then, like I said earlier, choosing seasonal fruits can be another way to save money. When we think about our frozen fruits, they're going to be cheaper per serving and have the added benefit of that longer shelf life. And can be just convenient to have on hand for different recipes. So a fruit blend, this one here is just like a berry blend. But these are great to add to like a smoothie or top on yogurt or chia seed pudding. Maybe you put them on top of pancakes or you mix them into your baked goods. If you have like any just of your favorite fruit on hand, you can experiment by blending them into a fresh sorbet, which would be super yummy right now as it's getting warmer. You can add them to drinks, make spreads with them, or incorporate them into marinades for a burst of flavor. And then frozen avocado. I cannot talk, you guys. Frozen avocado is a great addition to smoothies, spreads on whole wheat toast. You can make guacamole with it. It's affordable, also very rich in nutrients. So remember, incorporating these budget-friendly fruits into your diet not only stretches your dollar, but also enhances your meal with vibrant flavors and nutrients too. So frozen fruits are great. And then we talked about those fresh single fruits that can be really helpful. And then you're not getting like bulk, right? You're just getting like one off. You're not wasting that. Okay, when it comes to our vegetables, some budget-friendly options would be like potatoes, carrots, cabbage, onions, and celery. These are going to be the most affordable fresh vegetables per pound. And then when we think about frozen vegetables, um, they can be really helpful for quick and affordable meals as well. So you could make a stir fry with like a pack of stir fry vegetables. Just add rice, a grain, or a noodle, then maybe some protein, so chicken, salmon, or tofu. I know in my house on Sunday we made tofu stir fry, and I used frozen vegetables, and it was very easy. We didn't have a lot of time. And then added rice. So super simple, but a good way to get those vegetables in. Tricolor pepper and onion medley. These can be used in a lot of different recipes. Maybe an egg bake, saute it with some taco seasoning for a Mexican night, use it as pizza toppings. You could throw it into a soup, so many ways. Rice cauliflower. You can mix this into rice if you are somebody who's trying to like add more vegetables in your diet and you don't love them, or you're trying to trick maybe your spouse into eating more, mixing some cauliflower into their rice, maybe they will notice, could be an idea. You could also just put it in the skillet in the morning and have some eggs on top of it for breakfast, add it to a burrito bowl, blend it into a pasta sauce. People also put them in smoothies because you can't really taste it. So many options. Okay, So, you guys mentioned some of your favorite fruits and vegetables. What are some ways that you add them into your day? Maybe add one or two in the chat, and I'll read a few because I'm sure that there's going to be a lot. Oh, I see some of you guys have been growing some food, hoping that the animals don't get them, I bet. And the bugs. I feel like the squash bugs are so bad. We've got Dave said he's been juicing his vegetables for a drink in the morning. Is juicing frowned upon? Pulp gets tossed away. I wouldn't say, Dave, that that juicing is frowned upon. Personally, I recommend like a smoothie, so like blending it because you're still getting the fiber from the fruit or vegetable too. So you're getting the juices and the fiber. Where if you're juicing, you're saying that the pulp gets tossed away, then you're not getting all those benefits from um, the fiber from the plant too. Breakfast parfaits, strawberry in a salad, blueberries for yogurt, blackberries and yogurt, fresh fruit and cereal. Yes, that's a good one. Fruit salad with spinach. Eat it as a side. Some more juicing. Trio blend to my meals. Trio veggie blend to the meals. Freeze extra fruit and add it to smoothies. Yogurt. A lot of people add it to the yogurt. That's great. All right, so I heard lots of breakfast options, but not as many lunch, dinner. So those will be good for us to discuss in a few slides. So here are some ways that we could add it into our breakfast. Some of these you guys mentioned. So topping on your oatmeal, yogurt or chia seed pudding, having it on the side, maybe with eggs or some breakfast tacos. You can make a smoothie with frozen fruit. Maybe you have a bento box here where you have a little egg bake, your berries, and some oatmeal together. So as I'm going through these slides, I want you guys to jot down some ideas, or if you have your handout, maybe circle or highlight some things that you can take away and make and add into your own day. All right, fruits are great with snacks, especially paired with a protein. So that helps um, give us more, we feel more satisfied. Also helps with blood sugar control. So think about, those single fruits that we talked about that were affordable, right? Our bananas, oranges, and apples with like some nuts or a nut butter or cheese or yogurt. And those are things that are very easy to take with us to work or be on the go as well. And then at the bottom in the middle, you can see this berry and mozzarella and basil skewers. They look so good to me. But I was thinking about, the holidays coming up, 4th of July, Memorial Day, and we're always having it together. So this can be a great option to take to like some type of party to have like a healthier appetizer as well. All right, lunch and dinner. So, continuing on the bento box theme, you can maybe have a sandwich with a raw vegetable and fruit on the side. For a quick and easy option, you can always throw a fruit cup in your lunchbox. These are things that you could just keep in the pantry for when maybe your fresh fruit goes bad or you're out of frozen fruit, or you can take them to work and just put them in your office so that you have an option for some fruit. You can add fruit to tuna or chicken salad like pineapple, apples, or grapes. Again, such an easy lunch option that you can prep ahead of time and have for a few days and doesn't require much cooking. Someone mentioned this, but when you have a salad with some leafy greens, you can top it with berries. I love a salad with strawberries, blueberries, feta, and balsamic vinegar. Fruit salsas are another great way to add some fruit to our lunch or dinner. So maybe like fish tacos with fruit on top. I know Shannon, one of our well-being specialists, was mentioning that she made grilled chicken with strawberries and a balsamic glaze on top last week. That sounded delicious. So Can definitely add it to our proteins with dinner. And then lastly, just having that fresh fruit on the side. So maybe you have a sweet tooth and you like to have something sweeter at the end of your meal, have a piece of fruit. All right, so we're gonna go into some vegetables. So I feel like lunch and dinner are the hardest for the fruit to add into our day. We're pretty good with breakfast. And then for our vegetables, breakfast is the hardest meal, right? To get those vegetables in. So I have some ideas for y'all. Egg bakes, egg muffins, egg omelets with vegetables. Those are kind of my favorite. If you work with me, you know that I typically make an egg bake when I can, and it has eggs and spinach and tomatoes, onions, really kind of whatever vegetables I have on hand, I kind of just throw in it. Bacon in the oven. It looks kind of similar to this, and then I just cut it and eat it. Cut it into portions and eat it throughout the week. So it's easy to take with you on the go. Um, if you don't have a ton of time, adding those eggs on top of a frozen rice cauliflower that you saute real quick, that was another idea. Um, Here we have a savory oatmeal bowl. So instead of making it sweet, maybe you add some vegetables, some eggs. So this has tomatoes and cucumbers on top. I still haven't tried this one, but I want to. It sounds really good to me. And then here we have a smoothie. So I mentioned that. That's one way to add some leafy greens in. You could do the rice cauliflower. Um, Along with the bowl idea, you could do cottage cheese. One of the bowls that I used to eat often was cottage cheese, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocado, and chickpeas. Doesn't require cooking. It's super simple and quick. I know I'm going to be late on time, so if you have to go, totally understand. Sweet potato breakfast hash. I love a good breakfast hash. You could do peppers, onions, spinach, kale, whatever vegetables you have. Leftovers are great. If you do a toast, you can always add some type of green, like a spinach or a microgreen on top. And then on the bottom here, we just have leftovers. I know some people are not breakfast fans of like breakfast food fans. So you can always have your leftovers from dinner. And dinner, typically, a lot of people will have their vegetables at that meal. So then you'll have vegetables for breakfast. Vegetables are a great snack as well. So we can do any raw vegetables with a dip, like hummus, Greek yogurt, tzatziki dip, feta dip. You can make a green pea avocado dip. These are great just to have on the go for work, to take with you. Don't require a lot of preparation as well. The ants on a log, the celery with the peanut butter and raisins, that's a classic. Then we have some kale chips here. Those are not too difficult to make at home. You can cut them, season them, and cook them at 375 for 20 to 25 minutes in the oven. There are lots of recipes out there for different muffins where you can add in vegetables. So in your handout, there is a spinach banana muffin recipe and a zucchini carrot oat muffin. That's a great way to kind of sneak them in. This is a cowboy caviar dip. This is a great one too if you're having a get together or the holidays. So it has tomatoes, avocado, onion, peppers, beans, cilantro. And then edamame is another good, easy one. So you can buy that in the frozen section of the grocery store. It's a soybean. If you add some rice vinegar on it, it'll give you that salty flavor without adding that extra sodium as well. And then dinner. So you guys are probably pretty good at dinner. So, but maybe some new ideas for y'all. So blending veggies into a sauce for pasta. So you could do like celery, bell pepper, zucchini, carrots, tomato. And something I was thinking about today is just like, even if you're buying a sauce at the store and you have these veggies on hand, blend them in there and see how that tastes. You never know until you try. Roasting multiple vegetables for the week so that you can eat on them throughout the week and only doing that preparation once. Utilizing coleslaw in mixes, coleslaw mix in recipes. So maybe an egg roll in a bowl recipe. We do that one. It's super easy. You can add like a ground turkey to it. Or maybe you use coleslaw mix in a stir fry, a soup, on top of a sandwich, making a bean salad. This has been my go-to the past couple of weeks because it requires no cooking. So you throw together some fresh beans, vegetables like bell pepper, cucumber, onion, tomato, lots of different variations. And I think I did include one recipe in your handout as well. We talked about those raw vegetables, how great they are, easy to add to lunch or dinner. Bagged salads are great to have on hand to go with our dinner, like as a side, or maybe that's part of our meal and we just add some protein and other vegetables on top of it. But it's easy. And I think bagged salads in some ways can be inexpensive because they kind of have a lot of ingredients in them already. And a lot of times they'll be on sale too. And then some of our common meals, tacos, we can add vegetable fajitas. So like bell peppers, onions, mushrooms, maybe squash and zucchini. Spaghetti, you can add lentils. You could use zucchini noodles or spaghetti squash as the noodles, or maybe you add it in and kind of have best of both worlds where we have some whole wheat noodles and some zoodles or spaghetti squash. And then pizza, we can always top that with vegetables. We talked about that tricolor blend would be a good one. Or you could use cauliflower crust. All right, real quick, some ways that we can increase our intake. We can try to plan our meals and snacks ahead of time. So if we plan it out, we know what we're going to have, we get the groceries, it's going to make it a lot easier. Also utilizing the sales if our budget is tight. Um, and then using those vegetables in multiple recipes. So that kind of goes along with planning, right? So if we only need half of a cucumber, what else could we use it for that week? Maybe we pick another recipe or add it as a snack, etc. Washing, cutting, and prepping your fruits and vegetables. I love to do this when I get home from the grocery store so that it's all done. And when I get hungry or need it for a recipe, I can just go grab it, especially if um, you're needing a snack and your strawberries are already washed. And I like mine cut. You may not like them that way, but if they're already washed, it makes it easier, right? Taking a little barrier away. And then the next step to that is putting it where you can see it in the refrigerator in the pantry so that you will gravitate to it and you will know that it's there, you need to eat it. Trying something new, that's important always because I think we all grow up eating one thing and then we're exposed to different things and we may try a lot of new things that we never tried before. I didn't really eat like tomatoes and avocado until I went to college and was around other people eating those things. And now they're a staple in my diet. Seasoning the food well with different herbs and spices. That can be super helpful to eat more veggies, especially. And then storing your produce accordingly. So if we're paying for it, we don't want it to go to waste. And there are different ways to store different foods, right? So you're not going to store the potato in the refrigerator, right? Cool, dark place is where potatoes go. Or like your herbs and spices, we store those in different places. So learning how to store your foods well is really important. Okay, so I know that was a lot of information, and hopefully you guys got some um, good ideas to take away, but I would love to hear some of your takeaways. So share one way that you will try to add fruits and vegetables to your week this week. As y'all are doing that, I'm going to go through the chats. All right, it looks like y'all love some of those snack ideas. Half a banana to my protein and veggie protein powder with some almond milk. And then adding some ginger, turmeric, and cinnamon. That sounds really good. Strawberries to the salad, sweet potato brownies. Yes, I've made black bean brownies before, and they're pretty good, not gonna lie. Egg bake in the muffin pan or make the egg bites. Green onions and the garlic to some of my veggie dishes. Yes, and that will add some flavor for sure. Yes, so if you see the underlined portions of the handout, that will have links to some different sites. So make sure you click on those. All right. Snacking on fresh veggies while I'm preparing dinner. Yeah, and sometimes if you're starving, you waited too late to start on dinner, Brandy, that can be a great option just to snack on if you're hungry too. Diced peppers to my grits. That's a good one, Walter. Thanks for sharing that. Making stir fry for dinner this week. Roasting squash and zucchini with a drizzle of olive oil. Keeping fresh veggies handy. Planning ahead. Yes, that's so important, Nicole. Adding veggies to my breakfast. Avocado and peppers. Bake veggies with olive oils. Try some avocado bowl recipes. All right. Well, thank you guys for sharing with me. Again, that's that handout, and you can see that there are some recipes linked. You just have to click those links. There's too many to add them all in one place. And if you have any questions, feel free to add them in the chat, or if you want to send me an email, you can always do that. But I'm so glad that you guys joined me today, and I appreciate you guys sharing and just wanting to work on your nutrition and support your body well. And yeah, I'll stay on a little longer just to see if we have any questions. I do have a feedback survey that I'm going to add in the chat, and I'll send out a recording with the survey as well. So if um, y'all be looking out for that in the next couple of days, I'll try to get that recording out. Thank you guys so much.